In 1796, Tennessee became the 16th state to enter the Union. This is also the year that Judge John Overton purchased the 320 acres of land on which he would build his home, Travelers Rest. Overton was on his way to becoming one of the wealthiest men in the state, as well as an influential figure in the development of Nashville and Tennessee. As one of the first Superior Court justices for Tennessee from 1804 to 1810, and then serving on a successor to that court, the Supreme Court of Errors and Appeals, from November 1811 until his resignation in 1816, his work schedule was quite demanding. The Traveler, as he occasionally referred to himself, spent large amounts of time away from his home. As a result, Overton lived his first few decades at Travelers Rest as a bachelor. It is not explicitly known why he waited till the age of 54 to finally marry, but his involvement in law and the development of West Tennessee may have kept him too busy with travel and work to consider marriage. However, this did not stop his friends and family from sending him letters encouraging the judge to finally settle down.
Dear Sir, I am authorized to say to you that when you left this last, you certainly misunderstood the intentions of Miss P. She expected you to speak decidedly in private on the subject of matrimony before your departure, in which case I can venture to affirm her answer would have been pleasing to you. She expected to have seen you at the federal court. I believe she feels disappointed. However, she will make no engagement till she sees you again, and if you are still disposed to marry her, I am confident you will succeed in another visit. Whether you will make such a one or not, I will thank you to inform me in case you should. Name the time, you will be here. Repeat again, you misunderstood her intentions.
Despite having all of these potential suitors to consider, it would seem he either did not see any of them as a desirable match, or he felt he was too busy to take an engagement seriously.
The woman that would become the First Lady of Travelers Rest was Mary McConnell White May, daughter of General James White, who was a founding agent in the formation of Knoxville, Tennessee. She was first married to Dr. Francis May, personal physician and friend of Andrew Jackson. At one point, Dr. May and Mary lived near Travelers Rest, close to the neighborhood which today is called Creve Hall. When Dr. May passed away in 1817, Mary, with 5 children, had to move back to Knoxville and live with her brother, Judge Hugh Lawson White, who had a family of 7 children of his own. Judge White had been a judicial associate of Judge Overton for several years, so it may be possible that he is the one that encouraged the union of Mary and John.
In 1820, John Overton traveled to Knoxville to propose marriage to Mary. The judge conducted the proposal in the manner of a business transaction. After he stated his intentions to take care of Mary, who would become the keeper of the keys for his home, he also pledged to provide an inheritance and education for the children of Mary's first marriage. He then unromantically produced his pocket watch and gave her 20 minutes to decide. Mary knew that this arrangement was very beneficial, as the judge was wealthy and known to be a man of his word. However, not to be outdone by her possible suitor, she allowed the older man to pace the room in anticipation for the full 20 minutes. The couple were married on July 28, 1820, at the home of Mary's father, General James White.
Upon moving into Travelers Rest, Mary would bring with her not only her children from her first marriage, but also enslaved house servants, who were once owned by the May family and later purchased by Judge Overton. He and Mary would go on to have 3 children of their own, first a son named John Overton, and then 2 daughters, Anne Coleman and Elizabeth Bell. With the makeup of the home changing, the judge decided to add a brick addition to his home the year after his marriage. While this addition coincided with the rise of the political career of John's good friend Andrew Jackson, it was also a means of making the house more functional for the expanding needs of the family. Once John and Mary settled into family life, John's fellow founders of Memphis, Tennessee, General James Winchester and General Andrew Jackson, would send good tidings to the couple.
You have stolen a march on all of your friends in this quarter to sacrifice at the shrine of Hemia. Please accept my congratulations on this occasion and tender to Madam Overton my highest respects. With sincere regards, I am, dear sir, your obedient servant, James Winchester.
Letter dated April 15, 1826, from Andrew Jackson to John Overton. We would be glad to see you here and would recommend you to write up by addressing a note to Dr. Hogg advising the day you will be here. Mrs. J joins me in good wishes to you and Mrs. O and family.
Since the founding of Travelers Rest in 1799, Judge John Overton had expanded his property from the original 320 acres to over 2,000 acres. From the combination of money made in land speculation, law practices, governmental pay, cash crops, and the benefits of enslaved labor, the judge had amassed enough wealth to be considered one of the richest men living in Tennessee until his death on April 12, 1833.
Travelers Rest, April 14, 1833. Dear Sir, it becomes my painful duty to announce to you the death of our friend and relation, Judge Overton. He departed this life on Friday evening about 4:15 o'clock, which was unexpected in the morning, as Dr. Overton thought him better that morning. He remained in his senses till the last moment, but his voice failed about an hour before his death. Yours respectfully, Richard H. Berry.
When Judge Overton passed away, he proved to be a man of his word. Not only did he leave an inheritance to Mary and their 3 children, but he also provided for the May children. Mary inherited and oversaw the functionality of Travelers Rest until her son, John Jr., was of age to take over the property. And afterwards, she continued to be a strong presence in the home until her death in 1862. Mary Overton lived at Travelers Rest longer than her late husband, so in many ways, it was more her home than it was the judge's. Even after John Jr. had become the man of the house, Mary liked to situate herself at the foot of the dinner table, which would have traditionally been the lady of the house's seat.
Descendants of the Overton family would continue to live at Travelers Rest until the 1940s, due in large part to John and Mary's marriage, which laid the cornerstone for a legacy that has endured to this day.